Hello. All right, today in stress release yoga, we're going to work a little bit on lunges. So, working on the psoas, which runs from the top of the leg up through the pelvis, the rib cage, and into the attaches to the spine. So, being that it's spring and a lot of us are out walking outside now, and maybe we haven't done that for a long time, you may find that psoas muscle becoming painful, getting tired quickly. So stretching that out can help. But as always, we're going to work a little bit on the whole body. If you're sitting cross-legged with crossed legs, sitting in a cross-legged position, we're going to bring, I don't know if legged is really a word, but I always say it. We're going to bring the bottom foot on top. So bring that bottom foot up. Good. Take a breath. If this is uncomfortable, switch it. We're going to start with a little bit of Nadi Shodhana, so a little bit of breathing. Nadi Shodhana is alternate nostril breathing. So we're going to close off one side of the nose at a time. You're going to do this with your thumb, and it can be your index finger or it can be your ring finger. So if you're going to do ring finger, your options are to bring index and middle finger kind of to the forehead, and then you bring thumb in, and then it's the ring finger, right? We're going back and forth. Or you can bend those fingers down. So that can be, I usually prefer that way. Fingers down. But if it's awkward, if you get arthritis or something and you don't want to bend those fingers, just do thumb, index finger. Okay, here we go. So we're going to take our thumb and we're going to close off the right nostril. So just try to lengthen up the spine. Inhale through the left nostril. And then we're going to change sides. Close off the left nostril. Exhale through the right nostril. And then we're inhaling through the right nostril. And now change sides. Exhale through the left nostril. Inhale through the left nostril. Exhale through the right. Inhale through the right. And then we're going to exhale through the left. Inhale left. So we change sides on the exhale. So it's an exhale, inhale, and then you change sides. Exhale, inhale. One more time. We're going to change sides. Exhale through the right, or wherever you are. Inhale through the right. Then usually we end on a left exhale. So when you get to that left exhale, or if you're just ready, let it go. And then take a nice deep breath. Good. That's a great little technique, almost any time to kind of shift your thoughts. So let's take it into a twist. We're going to reach this right hand around us, behind us on the floor. Push into your hand. Might be just fingertips that you're on them behind you. Lift up the spine. Twist gently to your right. Breath. And then come back to center. Nice and easy. Bring the left hand behind you. Lengthen up the spine. Big breath. And then we're coming on back to center. And out onto hands and knees. Into a cat pose. From hands and knees, we're dropping the head and the tailbone down, pulling the belly in, lifting the spine up. And then we're going to inhale. So that was on an exhale, we're going to inhale, drop the spine down. Like you're trying to drop your spine down to the floor. Drop it between your shoulder blades. And then bring the head and the chest up. Everything is paying attention to the sensation of the poses. Exhale, round back into cat. So you may find your own little spaces here, little shifts in the poses. Paying much more attention to what you're feeling than the shape of the pose. All right, so we're going to inhale into dog one more time. Take a breath. Let's turn the head to one side. And then we're going to bring it back to center. Turn it over to the other side. And then bring the head back to center, round into cat. And then come back into a child's pose. Bring your hips back, bring your head down. And then come on back up onto your hands. So we're just going to do a little bit of forward movement. You can walk your knees back a little bit. This can either be with your feet down or you can let your feet come up. We're just going to try to shift the hips forward, almost as though we were going to lower all the way down onto the floor, keeping the arms straight. We're just going to let those hips drop down towards the floor and then pull your abdomen in. So like you're going to round back into a cat pose. You're going to push back. So we're bringing the hips back a little bit. We're going to open up the shoulders. And then we're just going to inhale. Maybe there's a whole breath in there. We're going to come forward. So again, try to just kind of get feeling like you're almost like a straight line. And then pull your chest forward. Dropping those hips down and you're going to pull the abdomen in. So that movement of pulling back, I'm going to start to go forward and back. That movement of pulling back, you're going to really work the abdomen there. You're going to stretch the shoulders. You're going to stretch your back. So again, feet can stay down or you can let those feet stay up in the air. And I'm just going to come back and forth at your own pace a few times. And then whatever depth, how far back are you going to go? What are you feeling in your shoulders? And you can really try to drop down a little bit lower and pull the chest forward, your shoulder blades back. And then make sure you're really pulling that abdomen as you come back and down into a child's pose. All right, here we go. We're going to come up into our first lunge. So come back up onto hands and knees. Bring your right foot forward. So if that right leg is tight, sometimes lifting the body up will make it a little easier to bring that foot forward. You can keep your body upright. So maybe you're just going to push a little bit forward. So when you're up, your hips are not going to come as far forward as when your hands are down. So again, that's all relative to how tight or whatever's going on in your legs. So if you want to get a little deeper into that stretch and you're able to bring your one or both hands down to the floor, you're going to stretch that psoas a little bit more. If you're happier being upright, pull your abdomen and lift your spine up. Pay attention to how much pressure is in this low back. So for me, it gets pretty intense there in the low back sometimes. If you want, hands can press into the back of your hips if that's happening, and pull your shoulder blades back. Take another breath. And then we're going to fold over the front leg. So hands come down, hips pull back. We're going to rest on the heel, fold the body over the leg. So really working on all of the leg is going to help walking. Just going to make your back more comfortable when you're walking. Going to make your legs flow a little more easily. All right, so we're going to walk this, you can walk your hands over to the left, swing your right leg back. We're going to come into a down dog. So wrists are lined up, fingers are wide, curl your toes under, bring your hips up, drop your head down, take a breath. And then we're going to drop the knees back down and bring that left foot forward. Finding your way into the lunge on this side. So again, maybe Maybe you're going to stay low here. Could be a little combination. Can do a couple breaths low, a couple breaths high. And arms, you can play with, you know, how you're stretching your shoulders based on how you're positioning your arms, if they're coming up or reaching out behind you. Or again, maybe pressing, hands pressing into the back of the pelvis. All right, and then we're folding over the left leg. So let your hands come down. But I always have to walk farther forward. And we're going to rest on the heel. We're going to fold over the leg. And then walk your hands to the right. Swing that left leg back. We're going to stretch it out in a downward facing dog. So line your wrists up, fingers are spread wide, wrists are about shoulder width apart. Hips push back, head drops down, and your shoulders move away from your ears. And then we're going to come into a plank. So just shifting forward, abdomen in. Breathe. And then knees down. I'm going to move my water out of the way. We're going to bend the elbows, lower the chest down, straighten out the legs. Very gently. Work your way into a back bend. Keep your elbows bent. And we're going to get a little deeper opening in that upper back. And then lower on down. Here we're going to do a half frog. We're going to bring that right knee up to about hip height. This is going to help open up the psoas a little bit too. That inner right leg is on the floor. You can either be down, resting your head on one or both arms, or you can kind of hang out on your elbows and lower arms. Really use that breath. Let the body soften as you exhale. And then we're going to bring this right leg back. All right, bring the second leg up. So knee, ooh, ouch, at about hip height. Try to make sure it's not so intense. Knee can be lower. And then a nice deep breath. Alright, and then we're going to straighten out this leg. Oh, we're going to bring it back. So let's do another back bend here. Hands flat on the floor below your shoulders. Let your forehead come down first. So chin is towards your chest, forehead's down on the mat. Breath. And then press into your hands. Bring the body up. And then let the head come up. Then we're going to press it back into child's pose. Up on the hands and knees. We're going to do a revolved lunge here. So bring your right foot forward. And we're going to keep, all right, let's see here. We're going to keep the left hand down. And we're going to twist open. So just like the lunge we did before, but now you've got the left hand on the floor. Watch this right shoulder. Hand can be on your hip or on your leg here. Just going to turn open. Try to lengthen out the spine. Take a breath. Still let your hips shift forward. If you can let this knee drop out, you can let that knee drop out to the side. But again, what's your body telling you? And then we're going to bring that raised hand down. Shift the hips back. Slide that right leg back. Bring the left foot forward. Right hand's flat on the floor. We're going to shift the hips forward. So again, where do you want your left hand? On the leg, on the hip, where are you going to bring it up? Just feeling that sensation of turning the body. If you can let that left knee drop out to the side, you're rolling onto the outer edge of that left foot. Take a breath. Whew. And then hand comes back. Here we're going to shift the hips back, let that left foot come back. Shake out the leg. Come on into a standing forward fold. Fold in over the legs. Let your head drop down. Inhale all the way up to standing. Reach your arms up overhead. Hands together. Exhale them down to the heart. Nice full breath. All right, we're gonna do Warrior One. All right, so Warrior One into Humble Warrior. So it's a little bit different from a lunge, but a little bit similar. All right, right foot forward, left foot back. If you noticed, I am changing which foot I'm calling right foot. So we're gonna put that left foot back. Right foot's forward, we're bending in the right knee. We're gonna bring the body up. We're gonna bring arms up overhead. So now we're in Warrior One, pressing the whole sole of that back foot into the floor. So we're trying to straighten out his legs. So here too, you may feel a little stretching in the psoas right here in Warrior One. Breath. All right, and then hands come down. They can be on your hips or on your leg. If your shoulders will tolerate it, bring your hands to your low back. So behind the back, you're going to interlace your fingers. Pull those hands down. Inhale, lengthen up the spine. Very carefully exhale, fold forward. So your body may not be anywhere near your leg. But if you get to the leg, you can rest there. The body will drop lower, you're going to drop past the inside of that thigh. And then breathe. Coming out of the pose. If you're feeling a little unsteady here coming up, bring your hands in and just step your feet together. If you can come make it back up, then we're going to release the hands. Come back into Warrior One. Arms come back up. We're lifting the chest and the spine up towards the ceiling. Take a breath. Hands to the heart. We're going to turn that right foot in. We're going to let both feet face the long edge of the mat. We're going to fold forward. Feet wide, fold in. Knees can bend. Find your spot. Breathe. And then we're coming on up slow and easy. Feet can walk together first. Inhale all the way up to standing. Good. Just stretch your arms out to your sides. And then circle your shoulders a little bit. All right, so I'm just going to turn to face the other way. We're going to have the left foot forward now and the right foot back. So whichever way you want to face, right foot stepping back, left foot's forward. We're going to bend in that left knee. Feel your footing. So feel your way around in the pose. Feel like your legs and your feet are in a good spot. And then bring your arms up into warrior one. So abdomen's in, we're lifting the spine up, trying to reach the chest up towards the ceiling, all while we still try to breathe. And then hands down to the leg or the hips, or if they're coming behind you, interlace fingers. Pull hands down towards the floor, so you're getting that nice shoulder stretch there. Inhale, lengthen up. Exhale, fold forward. So again, where's your spot? How far are you going? If you're coming past the leg, drop past the inside of the leg. Head drops down, hands are pulling up away from the body. Then we're going to inhale on up. Good. We're going to bring arms back up overhead. So again, maybe you stepped your feet together with the hands down. That's fine. Lift that spine up. Hands together down to the heart. We're going to turn back towards the long side of the mat. And then we're going to fold forward again. Nice and easy. If you're getting low enough to reach the floor, you might be able to bring your hands forward. So now you're in a wide leg down dog. And then, whoops. Inhale, come back up. We're going to step those feet in. Take a breath. And just notice how your legs feel. So when their legs are really already unhappy, sometimes the stretching can make them feel a little less happy. And then, maybe 30 minutes later, they start to kind of feel better. But you may feel already like the legs feel looser and freer and like energy's flowing. So we're working on that consciousness so that we have some idea of the good days and the bad days, how much is going to be too much, and what's going to feel right. All right, sip of water. And then we'll do triangle. So triangle is going to get a little bit into our outer legs. It's going to work with balance, strength, some core strength that happens in triangle pose. Feet wide. And it's just really helpful, again, just in that whole leg thing, when you're walking, moving your legs. I find it to be an essential pose to do pretty regularly. So turn your right foot straight towards the short edge of the mat. Turn your left foot toward your right foot. Drop the tailbone down. So again, we're building this stance from the ground up. If your toes are digging in, see if you can lighten them up. You're going to lengthen up. The two ways to get into the pose, it's probably way more than that. You can lean a little bit sideways. You can just have hand on hip and leg and just bend to your right. Or if your back is in pretty good shape today, the arms up. So this can be stressful on your low back. You want to really pull the abdomen in as you reach out as far as you can. You're reaching for something on that right side. And then the right hand drops down. Oops. And then we're going to try to lift up from the hand. So you're pressing into that hand, lifting up. We're looking for this long spine pulling out from the hips. So if your hip is tight like mine, you're going to feel some stretch in here. And then left hand can stay down or reach up overhead. So in triangle, we're trying to get this relatively straight line from fingertip to fingertip, so from left fingers to right fingers. In extended side angle, right, the knees bent, and the arm sometimes comes out here. So no right or wrong here. What are you feeling? Take a breath. Trying to pull this left hip back, pushing the right hip forward. And then just feel what's going on, what's working. Legs are working to hold you in place. Abdomen's working to lengthen out your spine. All right, we're going to come on up. You may need to bend that knee like I usually do to protect my back to come on up. We're going to turn this right foot in. So pick up your toes, roll on your foot. If your feet are too wide, scooch them in a little bit. If you feel like you need that little leg break, just stuff your feet in, shake them out. So you're trying to play by your own body's rules, not by anybody else's. All right, feet wide, toes turned to the left. So we're going to keep the legs straight. We're going to angle both feet towards that left side. Lift up. So again, you're going to start here, hand on thigh. You can still go pretty far here. You don't have to reach out. Oh yeah. All right, that's better for me on this side. And then if you like, right hand reaches up. Trying to push that left hip forward, pull the right one back. Abdomen in, long spine. And then trying to stay calm, cool, and collected with your breath. All right, so coming up. I usually bring the hand down and then bend the knee and come up. I'm gonna walk the feet in. Let's take it into a forward fold again. And then we're going to take it into a squat. So you can come up all the way if you like. You can bring your feet in a little closer. Turn your heels into your toes out. So heels about hip distance apart. And then you can still fold in. Take some pressure off your knees as you drop down. Come on down into your squat. Hands at the heart. Try to lengthen up the spine. You may need to adjust the spacing between your feet. And then we're going to flip back into a forward fold, hands down, let your head drop down. Inhale, back up, reach arms up overhead. Hands together, exhale them down to the heart. Nice full breath. All right, face the short edge of your mat. One more time, inhale, arms up overhead. Exhale, arms out to shoulder height. Fold from the hips. Inhale into half lift. Exhale, fold in, bend your knees, and we're going to sit down here. We're going to try to work on quads a little bit, and then we're going to do another lunge. If you can get into half reclining hero, all right, I'm going to bring camera down again. If you get into half reclining hero, you're going to have right leg out straight. You're going to pull left foot in next to your hip. So hero pose is when you're sitting on your heels, right? You're sitting on your shins. And then if you can do a full reclining hero, you're coming all the way back. So a little bit hard on your back. If you're going to do half, then one leg is out straight. So if you're going to do one leg, do your right leg out straight, pull your left foot in. And you can do it like this. So if you're already feeling a stretch through the quads, the top of that thigh, you can do that, or you can go back onto your elbows or all the way back. If that's not working, we're doing reclining deer pose. On the back, you could be on your elbows too here. Feet wide, knees wide, drop your knees to the right. Letting that inner leg drop down. There may be a big giant space between the knee and the floor, that's fine. Breathe. If you want something under your head, you can put a pillow under your head here or under your knee. Either pose, use your breath. Let the body soften as much as you can. We're going to change sides. If you're in deer, walk this left foot over towards your right foot. Just extend the leg out straight. If you're in half reclining hero, you can kind of roll to your right side and release that left leg out. Shake it out a bit. And then we'll change sides. So half reclining here again, you might kind of roll to your left and pull that right foot in and tuck it, and then extend your left leg out. If it's deer, feet wide, drop knees to the left. We're focusing on the right leg now. Let that inner right leg drop down. Keep breathing. And then we're going to slide this right leg over towards the left. Shake it out again. Take a breath. All right, so we're going to do one more lunge. I'm not going to see where the time is. Okay, so we're going to come up on, let me pull myself a little closer here. I'm going to come up onto hands and knees one more time. You're either going to love this one or hate it. Okay, let's see. All right, we're going to do right foot forward again. From hands and knees. Right foot comes forward. So we already did this twisting one. Left hand's on the floor. We're going to twist open. Trying to take this shoulder back as far as you can. So hopefully now your quads are a little bit looser and that leg's stretching a little bit more. And then if you can get the foot, you're going to pull that foot up and grab it. If you can't get it, it takes a long time to get those legs to stretch out. So don't worry about it if you're not reaching the foot. If you can get that foot, breathe. So we're taking the shoulder back, right? We're opening up the shoulder, stretching out the psoas, you're stretching out the quads. Getting a little bit of a back bend. There's a whole lot going on here. All right, if you have that foot, let it go. Youch. We're going to shift the hips back, hands down. Walk your hands to your left. Swing that right leg back. Breathe. And then left foot's forward. And shift the hips a little bit forward. Okay, so this right hand's down. All right, this side is tighter for me, so I'm going to give it a breath here. Try to lengthen out. And then I'm going to turn to the left and take that left arm back. And then I'm going to try to get hold of the right foot and just squeeze it in. Breathe. Try to pull that left shoulder blade backward. And if you have that foot, let it go. Oh. All right, we're going to shift the hips back, walk hands to the right, swing that left foot back. Then we're going to cry a little sigh of relief after that. Woo, yikes. So let's see if we can do pigeon, and that will pretty much be it. If you're going to do reclining pigeon on your back, as usual. If you're going to do pigeon pose from hands and knees. All right, let me go this way. You're going to bring that right knee forward and out to the side. So your right foot's in front of your left thigh, and then you're going to walk that left leg backward. Take a breath. I'm sure you're hearing that banging from my upstairs neighbors. Hopefully it's not too annoying. All right, if you're coming into reclining, so if you're good in pigeon, stay there. If you're coming into reclining, come onto your back, right ankle on top of left thigh. And then we're just going to pull that left thigh in. If this is too much today, you're just in a more like, yeah, you already had enough, you're ready to chill out, just keep your foot down. Find a good spot for your arms. Breathe. Okay, we're going to change sides. If you're in pigeon, you can just shake out that right leg from hands and knees where you can shift into a down dog. If you're on your back, release that right leg, shake them out, maybe both legs are out along the floor. And then we're going to take it into the other side. Pigeon, left knee forward, reclining, left ankle on top of right thigh. And again, you can pull this right leg in, hold the back of the leg with both hands. Or you can just let that foot be down today. Chill out a little bit more. And let's release this side. So again, if you were in pigeon, you can just shake out that leg. You could push back into down dog, stretching out the leg. If you're on your back, release. Shake the leg. If you were in pigeon, you're going to shift onto your back. And then we'll do a reclining twist. So on your back, we're going to drop knees over to the right side. If you're good with the cross knee twist, twisted roots, bring the left knee and cross it over your right knee. Right, like you're sitting in a chair, crossing your legs. And then drop your knees over to the right side. If that's too much today, uncross your knees. The arms can be overhead or shoulder height or more like along your sides. Pay attention to your shoulders. By shifting where the arms are, you can shift where you're getting the opening in the shoulders. So it might feel good some days to bring your arms up overhead, and other days it might be better in a different spot. Big breath. And then we're going to bring the knees back to center. We'll hug in, squeeze in. And we're going to the other side. If you're crossing knees, now right knee crosses over your left. Knees drop to the left side. Each side can be different. So shift, make yourself comfortable here. You can, again, decide where arms are going on this side. And then we're coming back to center. Knees can pull in one more time. And you can grab your feet for happy baby. And then we're going to relax for just a few minutes, probably about 3 minutes. If you want to relax longer, stop your video here, take a break, chill out. All right, if you're going to bring something under your knees, so yoga bolster is my favorite thing if you have one. It's nice for knees, take them under your knees. And then I usually do kind of like a butterfly pose. I do soles of my feet together and the knees dropping out to the sides. For me, that gives me the best relief for my low back. It just lets everything settle in. So if you want to try something under your knees, play with the thickness there. And then for your head, it could be anything to make your neck a little more comfortable. Once you're settled in, take a breath. If you would like a focal point, feel the sensation of the breath flowing through the nose. Just pay attention to the sensation of the breath, the inhales and the exhales, how they feel in the nose. Again, if you want to rest a little longer, just hang out here. Just ignore the rest of what I say. If you're going to get up and move again, take a deep breath. Slowly rotate your wrists. Slowly let your fingers, toes. Turn your head from side to side. Stretch your arms overhead. Bend your knees. And roll to one side. press our way up to seated. Good. So again, coming into a cross-leg position, legged. We're going to bring the bottom foot on top, either just resting kind of on the lower leg, or you can bring it up onto the thigh. Sorry. All right, sitting up tall. Let's do hands at the heart. Take a nice full breath. Thank you for sharing your practice today. I hope you found it helpful. Namaste.